Another day, another beans. What's up, Beaners? Sam Lopez.
Hey, how you doing,
Are
Beaners?
you waiting for me to say something to you?
Well, you said something to the Beaners, and I was like, oh, that's not
You
me.
can talk. No, Sam, you are allowed to interrupt
allowed
and
to
talk
talk.
whenever the fuck you want to.
All right.
Just say whatever you want. Go ahead.
Kitty Hawk.
There you go. That's a Navy ship.
Bond. That's a Navy ship my brother's on.
Yep. And is that what you're thinking of, your brother?
I guess so. Oh, I miss
How is
him.
Michael? Michael is her brother in the Navy.
He's in the Navy. He's good, I think. I haven't talked to him in a while. I miss him.
You should call your family more. This is Sam Lopez, everybody. She hates her family, and she's a quiet young girl, but she's on our podcast, and we are very excited to have her today as our guest, as the Beaner guest of the day. Samantha, how are you doing? Today is November 4th, the day right after the elections.
It is, but we still don't have any determination.
We don't know anything.
We know nothing.
And they're saying we won't know anything until Friday.
I heard that it's longer than that.
And I've heard Friday, but that's like, no one, also, when I say I heard Friday, it's not like a guy was like, oh, it's really going to be on Friday. I mean, he didn't know either. He was just, on CBS.
I read something
You know,
that
the news.
certain states, they would not be finished counting until the 29th.
Until the 29th?
Yeah. It might just be like one or two states. Jeez. But I mean, I guess if we have enough electoral votes, it won't matter.
The 29th?
Well, we'll see. Hopefully Friday.
I guess this really we're finding out that like, oh, this is all about electoral votes.
Oh, it's always been about electoral.
I mean, it always has been, but it's like it's in your fucking face now.
You didn't feel that way at the last one?
I always felt that way, but I mean, it's I still got the answers on Tuesday, so you're like, oh, I guess everyone's kind of a part of it. But this idea that like, oh well, your answers can come in November 29th. They can come in next year. No one gives a fuck who got the electoral votes.
Yeah, because that's why people were so mad last time, because I think Hillary had won the popular, but not the electoral college.
Yeah.
And so that's why people were like all up in arms.
Well, then I guess also my question is, what the fuck is the point of voting?
That's a good question. What is the point in voting? Feel free to leave that in the comments.
If you're a smart person who knows shit, not just some fucking guy. I don't want some fucking guy answers. I want somebody who no, bro, the real, I mean, like you have to talk like that.
Excuse me.
Yeah. If you talk like this, then
push your glasses up.
Then you can fucking answer this. But other than that, shut the fuck up. I don't like anyone telling me that they know something right now. It's like, bro, why can't you? Because also you're just letting me know what kind of person you are. Like, oh, you can't just not know anything.
Nah, people hate not knowing.
It's like it makes you weaker, like lesser than, because you're also like, because I guess you're a real you're a dumbass ant as well. You're just another dumb ant in the anthill.
People can't handle it.
You're not like some bumblebee among the ants. You're just a fucking ant, bro. You don't know anything.
You're just as stupid as everyone else.
Yeah.
Get used to it.
I heard that there's like only really like 150 people who matter on the earth who like make the decisions and own the money and things like that.
You're telling me that.
Yeah, so it's like.
He's like Elon Musk.
Yeah,
Jeff
if you're not
Bezos.
one of those 150. Zuckerberg.
Oprah.
Beyonce.
I don't even know if Beyonce would make it into the 150.
You know what? She might not be, but I'd say she's in the top 250 for
She's
sure.
definitely up there.
She's in the 250.
She's definitely in the 250.
But she might not even be in the 150.
Yeah, she's probably like one of the not cool people in the Illuminati.
Yeah, that's. I'm sure billionaires.
Peripheral?
Yeah, I'm sure billionaires look at her and Jay-Z and like P Diddy and like, oh my god, these fucking singers. I bet they call them singers. That's what white people
call
do.
Them singers.
Like just because they don't want to say rapper, like because they feel like it's like so they say he's a singer.
Why can't they just say artist? I feel like it's such an easy
because
encompassing
now
thing.
it's a compliment.
I know it is, but it's like it's such a nice, easy way to like just say I don't know what you do.
Yeah, but when have they ever wanted to be nice to black people?
That's true as well.
Because we are talking about rappers here.
Do you feel like people who voted for Trump were racist? Because I've seen a lot of like posts with like, they have the electoral college like map with all the colors on the states, and they're like, look at all that red. This proves that this is a country of racists. And it's like, is red equal racism?
I'm going to say red. If I had to pick, red is all about taxes and a little bit of racism. Like if
I think taxes are first.
If red was an ice cream bowl, the ice cream is taxes. The sprinkles are red. Now, I'm not saying there's not sprinkles.
The jimmies
and
are
there's
racism.
not chocolate on top of it. You know what I'm saying? That's all your racism. The ice cream is just taxes.
Yeah.
That's what I would say the red states are. They're bowl ice cream. And the blue states are just like some dildo or something.
Yeah.
Something gay. And I'm not saying gay in a negative way.
No, in like a fun, like
like a
let's
fun.
put it in your butt kind of way.
Let's put it in your butt and let's go dance at the club.
Yeah.
That's fun.
That's fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, get your prostate rubbed.
I don't
Have
know
a
if
good
it's
time.
if it's gonna win you this election. Just get somebody cool. The reason the Democrats fucked up. Why do I have to vote? John Mulaney said it best, man, on his SNL the other day. God, how great of a comedian is that guy?
We have an old man contest.
Elderly.
Elderly man
Close.
contest.
Elderly man contest. You know what I'm saying? That shit's like, this nigga's so good, bro.
He's funny. He's like definitely in my top, 5 all time.
Your Mount Rushmore?
My Mount Rushmore. I love Mulaney.
Man, I'll say this about John. He ain't in my Mount Rushmore. But if there was like, so you know how there's 4 heads on Mount Rushmore? Mm-hmm. If there were heads on the other side, like if you went to the other side of the mountain and there were 4 other heads on the other side, he'd be on the other side.
Like a Voldemort living on the back of their head?
Yes. if Mount Rushmore was on some Voldemort shit and there was heads on the back of the heads, Mulaney would be like on the back of like
everyone's head,
like Richard Pryor or some shit.
Oh, really? That's
because there'd
impressive.
be 4 heads and then there'd be 4 other heads. So
okay.
No, it has another connection of whose head you're behind.
Okay, so he's not Voldemort, is what you're saying?
No, they're all
okay.
No, they're all Voldemort. Are you not? So look, so you got your 4 Mount Rushmore heads, right? You got the 4 niggas looking this way.
Yeah.
If you were on that side of the mountain, if you were to drive to this side of the mountain, it's just 4 different niggas.
Okay.
So really, Mount Rushmore is just perspective. It depends on what side you're on.
Oh.
That's how I'm looking at it.
I was looking at it more of like these other comedians living on the back of their heads were taking up their brain space and telling them what to do and organizing like a dark military, against the wizarding world.
Again, babe. Now you're just talking about Harry Potter.
Okay, sorry.
I was more actually talking about what you were saying with he's on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah,
where it's like he's not on mine.
Like John Mulaney.
He's great. He's not on mine, but he is on the back of it. Like, nigga, if you could go around the other side of Mount Rushmore,
okay,
he's on that side. That's how close that nigga is.
Okay.
That was my point.
If someone dies, well, people have died that are on your Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, of course people have died.
Okay. So what you don't think he could
Richard Pryor's
surpass?
dead.
You don't think he could go, and kick?
That's what I just said. I said he's on the back.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that head. Doesn't mean those heads sometimes flip. They switch when you pass a nigga. Listen, because I would say the Mount Rushmore is Dave, Richard, Dave. I mean, however you want to put it. Dave, Richard, Louis. I gotta say Chris Rock. You got to. I want to say Carlin. I know everybody will be like Carlin, and I want to say Carlin, bro, but because of the. Carlin is probably the most prolific comedian to ever live, maybe. As far as like amount of work and what he's saying and how genius it all is and all these things. And that's why he's clearly, I mean, damn, it's like he'd be on the other side of my Mount Rushmore, obviously. But the only reason I'm not putting him in my top 4 is because he's not as funny as the other guys. He's just not as laugh out loud funny.
He doesn't make me laugh out loud like the rest of them
But
do.
he's prolific as they come.
You're right.
With what he's saying. I mean, he's saying probably more real shit than any of them. Like, that's arguable.
Okay.
I would say.
And you don't put Burr up there? Is he on the back of someone's head?
Burr's on the back.
He's on the back of someone's head.
Burr's on the back. I put Chris Rock up there. But then again, I go back and forth with Chris Rock and Burr. Those I can change those. But I gotta say Chris Rock is laugh out loud funnier. A little bit. But then again, I mean, I don't know. Because I say that and then I'll watch Bill Burr and I'll laugh my ass off. So I don't know. Those two are constantly rotating.
Things, like
my Mount Rushmore is just like this. It's like spinning. It's like 2 heads spinning.
Wow. So it's like
so it looks it's all still and then one heads are just spinning. You're like, why the fuck is Chris Rock
like
and Bill Burr spinning? Yeah, like an exorcist. This is a creepy ass Mount Rushmore. Why is it all comedians? That's what I'd like people to drive by also saying.
Yeah, they would be like, I didn't know comedy was that big of a deal
Jesus.
in America.
They used to be presidents?
Yeah, I guess not.
But yeah, I would say those are my 4 in my Mount Rushmore. Who's yours?
Oh gosh. Probably Dave, Louis, Mulaney, Burr.
Everyone's alive.
I know. Well, see, also I can't.
That's fine. This is your Mount Rushmore.
People perform, it does change the way you feel about it.
Yeah, we've never seen Richard Pryor.
I've never seen Richard Pryor.
Never saw George Carlin.
Never saw George Carlin.
You know
all I have are recordings, and not that those aren't funny. It's just
we never seen Eddie Murphy. We never seen Bill Cosby. I mean, there are people that you can obviously throw on this list.
Yeah, there's plenty of people to go on the list
that you can put in this Mount Rushmore that are easily interchangeable. And I'm not saying that they're not. Like, I mean, nigga, if somebody, I mean, you can't. It's almost like how do you not put Bill Cosby in there?
Do you ever wonder like how they decided which presidents to actually put on the Mount Rushmore? And they were like, these are
Did
the
they build them
ones.
one at a time? Did they build like, all right, we'll start with Washington, and they were like, who else do we like? And it's like, I like Lincoln, and they were, like, or did it go George, Lincoln, Jefferson, and that other nigga?
I think Teddy's on there.
And Teddy, the other nigga? Is it those four?
It's definitely Teddy Roosevelt because I think he was the one that started the construction for it because he was the big parks guy.
Yo,
I might be getting this all mixed up.
We could be, but I'll spoil the beans. We're all facts here, so you're probably not.
Well, I do know that Teddy Roosevelt was the big parks guy. He was responsible for most of our nation's national parks. That's why he's Teddy Roosevelt. That's why we have the teddy bear.
Yes, I believe it.
History.
That's all factual.
So I'm gonna guess
along
he's
with
on
everything
there.
else we've said.
But I don't know why they decided. Like maybe it was just in his time. They were like, these are the ones we like the most, and so we'll put them up. Or these are the most
sexy. These are the 4 sexiest guys to ever be president. No, they gotta have. If you're talking sexy, you gotta put FDR on there.
Tyler,
what's
his face is hot.
Who?
Tyler. I can't remember his first name, but there's like a president.
There's never been a president called Tyler.
His last name is Tyler.
Oh.
Something Tyler. I'm pretty sure.
I was about to say, nigga, if there was ever a president's first name was
Hey,
Tyler.
You know Tyler? President?
You know President Tyler? Tyler?
No, I'm pretty sure there's a Tyler, last name Tyler, president, and he was good looking. And I always also say that Jefferson's pretty good looking. TJ?
Well, JFK is the hottest, or Obama,
well,
right?
JFK and Obama are the hottest. But that's like, yeah, they weren't around after that. Maybe they were.
Yo, what's the difference between, why the fuck do the presidents have that Mount Rushmore shit? What's the difference between that and the pyramids in Egypt or whatever the fuck? Or like those big statues in Egypt of half dogs and half a nigga's face. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the pyramid, yeah, I don't really.
No, I meant like the building statues of yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just the same as, it's like a sphinx.
It's all, I'm looking at it, I was like, what's the difference? There's no difference. It's like,
difference.
we like to add all this, like, oh no, it's historical. It's like, no, nigga, that's just worship.
I guess, well, also, they didn't make it for themselves.
Somebody had to okay this.
Someone okayed it, but whoever okayed it, I don't know if they were one of the ones featured in it. Unless it was Teddy. Teddy's my most likely guess that
he was like,
okayed
yeah,
it.
put me up there.
But don't put my cousin, paraplegic cousin.
FDR?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't put that. I don't want that blanket on there. I don't want a nigga in a blanket on there. I just want me.
He might not be on it. I haven't looked at it.
No, I think Teddy's on there.
Are you gonna look it up right now?
Nope. Because on Spoil the Beans, we don't look anything up. We just know. We just know. No, we do know, Sam.
We know everything.
We just know. They come to Spoil the Beans for facts.
For facts.
And that's what we give them.
All right, we're going to tell you the truth about the election.
No, we're not. That's not what we're doing.
Okay.
We don't have enough time because we got to get into the goddamn movie,
Oh, yeah,
Sam.
we're watching a movie.
We're watching a movie today. You excited?
I am excited. What's the movie?
It's a movie you've never seen. Because,
are you sure?
Well, if it's not, sorry about this episode, guys. It's going to be really short. Samantha Lee Lopez with your cool Cheetah Girl shoes on. I like those shoes.
Thank you.
Have you ever seen the Cheetah Girls?
I have seen the Cheetah
What a great
Girls.
movie, huh? Raven Simone,
call
those
it
girls.
That. What was it, like 3LW and Raven Simone made the Cheetah Girls?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure all the girls from 3LW were.
Yeah, the other girls were in a group, and then they were like, and all we need now is the girl from the Cosby Show.
Remember 3LW? I'm getting a little tired of your broken promises.
Promises.
Calling on your pages, seeing different numbers and numbers.
Oh, that was a banger, dog.
Great. I have that on a playlist on my Spotify still.
Of course you do. That's Samantha Lopez, everybody. Isn't she fun? Sam, you excited? I'm excited to tell you this movie because the actors in it I know you love.
I love actors.
Well, that's not what I meant.
Okay.
But I love your enthusiasm that you just love all actors. Very nice of you. You probably make a great director or a horrible one. We'll see.
Maybe I'd love them too much.
That's what I'm saying. Sam.
We've had a problem with that.
Sam,
Yeah.
will you stop being a
Sorry,
pedophile?
I'm sorry.
Will you stop being a pedophile once in your life?
They were adult actors.
We don't know that. And answer me a question.
Okay.
Can you tell me really quick, as fast as you can, what you think happens? God, I love this coat. It's really nice on me. In the film Rockstar.
Okay, so that's the one with Mark Wahlberg, I'm pretty sure. And he has a dog that rides on a skateboard. Right?
Sam, you don't get to ask. That's not how
Okay,
this goes. You have
so I'm
to
pretty
tell
sure
me
it's
movie.
about a guy, Mark Wahlberg. He is a rock star. He's trying to make it. He's got this really cool dog that rides a skateboard, and everyone's really impressed, but they're like overlooking the fact that he can play music and stuff. And then maybe he has like a baby mama, and she's like, why are you still trying to be a rock star? You're not there yet. But your dog can ride on skateboards. Let's just invest in that.
This is the greatest fucking movie I've ever heard in my entire life. Please keep going.
And then his baby mama leaves him and takes the baby with him. And he's like, God, all I have left is this dog that can ride on skateboards and my music. And so he just pushes.
What, nigga? The fuck are you talking about?
Pushing harder and harder. And then one day they make it. And
who's they?
Him and the dog. And they have the band, the skateboard dogs.
And then what happens?
The band, the skateboard dogs, they make it in the end.
Oh,
and
they make it in
to
the
see
end.
his daughter.
But through this, he learns that he's not the lead. The dog is the lead.
The dog is the lead.
And so this basically is Air Bud.
Yeah, it's essentially Air Bud,
but with music.
So, yeah, it's a musical version
Instead of basketball.
It's
You're
actually
Air Bud,
more
yeah.
like Beethoven, not Air Bud.
Oh, okay. So this is just Beethoven.
This is just Beethoven.
With Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie, Sam. I would definitely go see that movie, and I'd probably say it's one of the greatest movies of all time because.
I mean, I'm really disappointed I haven't seen it yet.
Also, what is going on in your brain sometimes? What? Who made this? You know what? I can't question that because I was about to say, who made a movie about a dog riding a skateboard?
I
becoming
don't
a rock
know,
star?
but I saw the ads and there was a dog riding a skateboard.
I was going to ask you that, but then again,
Okay,
there's
sorry.
also a movie. No, you're fine. And then there's also a movie where a fucking dog, takes a high school team to a state championship in basketball.
Oh, yeah.
So what do I know about movie making?
What do you know?
What do I know? All right. Now, I will say this. I have no fucking clue where you got this skateboarding dog from.
Okay, if anyone knows about the skateboarding dog
It
I'm
is not in
referencing,
this.
please leave it in the comments.
Sam, I'm pretty sure you're just talking about a commercial.
Is it a bulldog?
Did-
It's a
no,
bulldog.
there is no dog in
There's
this.
no dog in this?
No, that's why I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. But I love your enthusiasm
Okay.
and I love your effort.
Okay.
You get 2 E's.
Are you sure? If a dog shows up in this movie,
Sam,
I'm gonna be pretty pissed.
again, even if there was a dog in the movie, you said your movie was about a skateboarding dog
No, I said it was about Mark Wahlberg
Who
and
bec-
his skateboarding
who
dog.
becomes a rock star.
No, Mark Wahlberg becomes a rock star because he learns to let the dog lead.
And he learns to follow. I believe that movie is also called Turner and Hooch. I think they made a lot of versions of the movie you described, but it's not this.
Okay.
You want to hear Rockstar?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, I think you'll like this movie. Because you didn't say the other person starring in it, so I'm assuming you don't know.
I want to say that the baby mama is like a Jennifer Aniston type person, but God, I feel like she seems too old to be with Mark Wahlberg in this movie, but she can play.
You know what year this
anything.
came out?
What was it like? I want to say I was like 15, like 2005.
2001.
Okay.
This came out a while ago. So this is
2001.
this is peak Friends time, right?
Peak Friends time. So it could be Jennifer Aniston.
So, movie starts with our lead, Marky Mark. All right? He's giving one of those kind of like, remember those VH1 behind the scenes kind of interviews?
Yeah.
All right, he's giving like one of those. And he's like, oh man, those days were amazing. Just being a kid. I mean, what else to do but live the dragon, you know? I copied every outfit, every move, every look. I mean, I was relentless. Pittsburgh, the 80s. All right, we go back in time.
Oh, we're going to Pittsburgh?
Okay? Yeah, Pittsburgh sucks.
Yeah, ugh.
The camera pans down to a group, like you see the camera panned like a group like in a basement, like a regular basement, right?
Like teenagers?
They're young. I mean, they're young men, not teenagers.
Okay.
They're like in their 20s, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And you hear, long live rock and roll, and they're fucking practicing and playing, they're jamming, right?
Uh-huh.
And then Mark's like, guys, stop. And he comes over to one guy, and he's like, dude, you're not nailing the squeal, right? And he's like, man, what are you talking about? And then he's like, you got to nail the squeal right. And he plays like the actual song
Yeah.
that they're trying to play.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, see how he hits it? And he makes him hit it right. He's like, do it like this. And you can just tell he's a crazy perfectionist.
So
All
he's
right.
Sting.
Huh?
He's Sting.
He's a perfectionist. I didn't say he was Sting, but he's a perfectionist.
Perfectionist.
You hear him say, okay, from the top. Credits start rolling. All right? Like the credits of the beginning
Oh, the
of
movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else would they be?
Oh, because you said he was on this VH1 TV
No,
show.
that's
thing.
remember we went back in time.
I know he did, but then I was like,
Okay, so put yourself in a movie. So you're not trying to actually think like just imagine you're watching
the
them.
movie opens.
So if I say movie opens and then we go back in the 80s, like put yourself there. Okay. So we see Mark putting on like rocker outfit, like this like jacket, no undershirt. He's fucking shredded. He is shredded.
Damn. Is he wearing tight jeans?
You're in leather.
Yeah.
Rock stuff.
Hot.
rock star.
Mm-hmm.
Title comes across. All right. He's got this band shit all over his room. All right. And he's looking at the lead singer of the band. The band's name is Steel Dragon, and he's dressed exactly like the lead singer.
Okay.
Okay. He goes downstairs. He has a huge family. He still lives with his parents. He's in his 20s, though.
Yeah.
He goes downstairs. He has a huge family, right? You see his mom's like little brothers and shit. And everyone loves him. You can tell he's close with like the family.
Yeah.
Like, everyone loves him in the house. Credit's still rolling. You see him and his bandmates hopping in a car. They take off. They meet up with some girls. They have like a shitty car. They meet up with some girls. One of the girls is our lead, Jan.
Hey!
Miss Aniston. The hottest one in Friends. And the one who had the best career. Fight me. I said it. What?
Well,
Pretty
the
obvious, I think.
hottest, but definitely the best career.
You don't think she's the hottest? Who's hotter? Joey? Because it definitely ain't Monica or Phoebe.
Yeah, she's definitely the hottest.
So
Paul Rudd for like that one moment when he was on there.
Well, Paul Rudd's the hottest, but you can't. He's not in the show.
He is in the show.
I know he's in the
He
show,
dates
but I'm
Phoebe.
saying if we're talking about who's the hottest on the show,
Okay.
it's like
You mean out of the Friends?
remember when she's dating that old guy who's super hot, Monica?
He's
That's
really
what I'm saying.
hot.
And
How
he's
is
like,
that old guy
what's his
hotter
name, though?
than everyone else?
He's a super famous actor.
Is it like Burt Reynolds or something
It's
like
somebody
that?
like him.
It's not Burt Reynolds.
So that's
though.
and I'm saying Bruce Willis was on that show for a while. They've had everybody on the show.
They've had everyone on the show.
But that's not what we're here for because we can't get lost down a Friends rabbit hole.
We could.
Seen many people die down those. Sam.
Mm-hmm.
All right. They meet up with the girls. We see our lead Jan. They start passing out flyers up everywhere they have a show.
Okay.
Okay. And then they go to an arena where Steel Dragon is playing that night. All right. Packed, arena, huge. And they're putting their flyers out all over the thing. They're a Steel Dragon
Cover band.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So they're putting the flyers out on all the cars to come to their show. Okay.
Huh. Okay.
What's your question? You have a question?
It seems kind of counterproductive if you're putting out so people who are at a Steel Dragon concert, then you come out and you see advertisements to go to a cover band. Why would you go see them? You just saw the real thing.
I also agree.
Okay. Seems a little, hey, Mark.
I guess in
better
your head,
marketing
you're like, well,
program.
there's 20,000 people here that for sure love Steel Dragon.
Okay, that's true.
If I can get 10 of them,
yeah.
I guess that's how you're looking at that. Because I agree with you.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to go see J. Cole and then immediately see a J. Cole cover rapper. That'd be a little.
Cover rappers?
They should. Yo, rappers, you're definitely missing out on a fucking huge market.
You could definitely be a cover rapper.
Yeah. And get your bar show on, brother. So get your bar gigs on. Passing out flyers.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cut to, they go to the show. They have front row seats.
Okay.
They have front row seats to this concert, right?
Nice.
Mark is clearly a diehard.
Yeah.
Like, lives this, breathes this, is this band. You know what I'm saying? He's dressed exactly like the lead guy. Hair's the same. Everything.
Is this band resemble a
this
real
is,
band,
yes,
like
this
Kiss
is,
or something?
This is supposed to be like, I would say, this is supposed to be like an AC/DC or something.
Okay.
Or
Journey.
No, more hard.
More hard.
That's why I said
like
AC/DC or Metallica or some shit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But like the arenas, that kind of band.
Yeah.
So that kind of music is my point. So they're singing this song. Stand up and shout, and you see our boy Mark in the front row singing it along as well. But he is like murdering it to the point that the lead singer is like,
"What are you doing?"
Like not in a mad way, just like damn.
Mm-hmm.
This kid's like hitting that note in this front row, right? And he keeps the sound, stand up and let it out. Stand up and shout. I knew what you're thinking. And don. And the huge arena's going nuts, fire, all that shit, right? He's loving the concert. Concert ends.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mark's name is Chris. He sees their manager, like a guy who is clearly a manager, and he's handing out backstage passes to like super hot girls. The manager of this band, Peter Pettigrew from Harry Potter.
Ah, Peter Pettigrew.
Oh, Mr. Peter Pettigrew.
Wasn't he a rat?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So now you know what I'm talking about. The guy,
I know
though,
exactly
not the
what
rat.
you're talking about. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
I didn't know if I
sure?
had to tell you that.
Okay, I
But
got
yeah.
that now.
No, I didn't want you thinking the whole movie that a rat was running around managing this band.
I mean, there's a
See, already I need you to focus.
It's a skateboarding dog. Why
There's
wouldn't
not a
there?
skateboarding dog. So they have front row seats. They see Peter Pettigrew. He's handing out the backstage passes. He goes up and he asks him for one, and Peter Pettigrew's like, "What?" And he like laughs him off because like, the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Why would I give this to you, a guy,
Mm-hmm.
just some guy, you know? And so he walks off. They leave. They go leave. And as they're leaving, like they're all excited about the concert, him and his friends, they're noticing somebody's been taking off all their flyers and putting on their flyers because they're also a Steel Dragon cover band. This is also in the 80s, so I bet this was a thing. This probably used to be a problem.
Probably more cover bands back
Probably
then
way
than
more
now.
cover bands, and then also like the drama between cover bands was probably as such.
I believe that. Well, also, I feel like all the cover bands from today are of 80s bands.
Yeah, that's the only
That's the only
bands
era
that
you
get
can
covered.
cover?
Nobody's covering nobody's covering Fleetwood Mac, which
No
you
one's
should.
covering like Imagine Dragons.
No one's covering Imagine Dragons. No one's covering fucking Hall & Oates. Like why don't they cover anybody cover anybody
I'll
else?
go see those people.
Yeah,
No.
but it's only like heavy metal bands.
I've seen Beatles cover bands.
I've seen a Beatles cover band,
Yeah,
and I've seen a Journey cover band.
yeah I've seen Journey.
But I would consider that this era as well.
Yeah,
Because it's the 80s.
like
It's the hair
80s,
era.
Yeah.
The hair era. So they leave, and when they see the guys who are like taking off their flyers, and they're all dressed the same because they're all dressed like this band, and they all have the hair the same, and they're fucking going at it. It's just the gayest argument you've ever heard.
Yeah.
About like how they're not actually like the band, like how you guys aren't actually like the band, and they fucking brawl breaks out. They get into a fist fight over this shit. All right. Next morning, he wakes up. His cop brother is waking him up. He's in bed. His cop brother's waking him up. His brother is the bad guy from Wedding Singer. You know, the dude she's actually gonna marry. The dude she was gonna marry.
Yeah. The what was his name? It was like Julia Gulia.
Julia Gulia.
Gulia. His last name was Gulia.
Last name was Gulia. So he's the brother, and he wakes him up and he's giving him just shit. Just like, where's your stash, huh? And he's a cop, and he's like, and they start wrestling and fighting. And the mom breaks it up, and he's like, get out of here, Greg, get out. And then Mark's like, get him out of my room, Mom. He shouldn't be in my room. And he was like, oh, this used to be my room. He's like, well, it's not your room anymore. And the brother's like, yeah, because I moved out when I was 18 like a normal fucking person. Because like they're both like, even Mark Wahlberg was definitely like in his 20s, bro. Like maybe 25 or some shit. And he's like, Mom, did you tell him to shut up? And she's like, the mom's so supportive. She's like, oh, it's okay, honey. Like she's one of those kind of moms. So they go down. What?
I never wanted to think of Mark Wahlberg as a loser.
Yeah. He's a loser in this.
That makes me sad.
So they eat breakfast. He's hot, though.
Okay, well, that's okay.
He is hot. So they're eating breakfast, and he has on a suit and tie. Right, Mark Wahlberg. He's got to go to work. And the brother, his mom is supportive. His dad's supportive of the band. They're all talking about his show that's coming up. The mom and dad are super supportive.
That's nice.
Yeah. The brother is being like a fucking asshole to him. And he's kind of talking shit back. And then finally the brother does say some dope shit. The brother's like, you know what the sickest thing about you is, man? Is you don't even fantasize about being your own rock star. You fantasize about being someone else. Singing someone else's songs. It's fucking pathetic. And then Mark, like, that cuts. It hurts him. And he just gets up and he storms
Well, that's
off.
real.
Because that's where I agree. It's like, I'm not saying don't go after your rock dreams.
But you're just going to imitate someone else?
And make it? What? So Mark, he has a shitty office job that he hates. And cut to that night, he's hanging out with Jennifer Aniston, right? And they're making out, and she's numbing his nipples, like with ice. She's numbing his nipples. And she's like, and she's got the piercing equipment. And she's like, are you sure you want to do this? Like, what? You really sure? And he's like, yeah, the lead singer got it done last week. I have to. And she's like, okay. And she does that shit. Just so you mentally know where this nigga's at.
Oh, my God.
He's there.
Oh, this poor guy.
Yeah.
He's like sick in the head.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because if you met this nigga, I'd be like, oh, bro, you kind of fucked right now, fool. Because this is creepy at this point.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't do a cover band, but this is creepy. You don't have to pierce your nipple.
You don't have to do that.
People still know that you're still dragging.
Yeah.
I didn't need, but that is to let you know, oh, this nigga's crazy.
Yeah.
So the night his band show comes up, you see his parents, they're out front selling the shirts and selling the tickets. Like, they're so supportive. They're like those kind of parents, you know? And you see Jennifer Aniston out there, and they got a lot of people out. It's like they did a good job. This is like, if this was a comedy show, you'd be like, damn, it's a great show.
Yeah.
You know? So they start doing that stand up and shout. They're doing that song, right? And they're rocking out. And as they're doing it, the guitarist starts kind of adding his own little, like his own little things.
Little riff.
And Mark, it sounds good, but Mark's like looking at him like,
that's not what happens.
yeah, what the fuck are you, like, that's not how the song goes, right? So they get a little break, like another guy's doing a solo, and he comes up to him, and he's like, hey, man, what the fuck was that? He's like, what? He's like, what the fuck was that, man? There's no solo break after the chorus. And the guy's like, No one cares. They love it. Just keep playing. And he's like, yeah, and they keep playing. He's like, dude, that's not how the song goes. You either take it seriously, and he's like, dude, you're taking this too seriously. It's because it's great music and it deserves to be taken seriously. And if you don't want to take it serious, don't play it. And he storms off. And the guy's looking at him like, what the fuck? And Mark Wahlberg's like, stand up and shout. And he keeps singing, right? And the guy does it again. He's shredding it. Yeah. And Mark looks at him, and he walks over and he unplugs his guitar. Stand up and let it out. And the guy looks at him and he plugs his shit back in, starts rocking again. So Mark looks at him again like, you motherfucker. And he grabs his mic stand, comes over, smashes his amp.
That's expensive.
Yeah. And so the dude, of course, now like sets his guitar down. He's like, hey, that's my amp, man. What are you doing? He's like, shut up. If you're not going to play the song right, you don't deserve to play. Don't ruin this concert for me. Stand up. Fuck you. And he pushes the shit out of him. Brawl breaks out. And then Jennifer Aniston's like, here we go again. I just want to thank you guys all for coming out to the Steel Dragon Tribute Show. We'll be here once a month, every month. We're always, you know what I mean?
Oh, so she's saying this?
Yeah, like over the loudspeaker as they're just fighting on stage.
Yeah.
This happens a lot, clearly. You know? So that night, the next day, that ends. The next day, it's him and Aniston. They're showing up to like the basement where they have their band practice, right? And when they show up, they hear them already practicing. They're like, what the fuck? Of course, you know that look of like, what the fuck? He goes down there, and remember I said they got into a fight with another cover band? The lead singer from that cover band is now practicing with his group.
Oh, he got replaced.
He's like, what the fuck? What is this, man? What's he doing here? And then like before they can answer, he goes, you know what? Never mind. Point made. I get it. Get him out. And they're like, no, he's not leaving. And the guitarist is like, look, dude, he brought the amp that you broke. He brought us better equipment. We're going to go with him, right? Also, he wants to also do his own songs too, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, what do you mean do his own song? He's like, look, bro, we're sick of being a cover band. We're not a cover band. We're a tribute band. It's different. He's like, dude, whatever. You really believe you're Steel Dragon. Look at you. You don't even know where Bobby ends and you begin, which is like the lead singer of the actual band. And Mark's like, man, fuck you. You want to do your originals? Let me tell you something. Your originals suck. And then the guy looks at him. And he's like, yo, man, don't be mad at me because you're scared to write your own stuff. Wouldn't you rather fail as yourself than fail as a fucking clone? And he's like, he gets so mad. He's like, well, why would I even do that? Because he's just so caught up in it. Why would I do that? And he's like, yo, man, just get out of here. You're embarrassing yourself. And he does the classic, well, if I go, I'm not coming back. And they're like, we know. I'm serious. If I leave, this is it. We're over. We heard you. Oh! And he storms off, right? And the friend's looking at him, and then and Aniston goes to walk out too. And they go, hey, Emily. She's like, what? And they go, you know we have nothing against you. We all love you. We'd really appreciate it if you still managed us. You're great at what you do. And then she's like, Rob, you know I'm a businesswoman. And rule number one of business, you go where the talent goes. All the talent walked out the fucking room just now, and she walks off.
Well.
Homeboy's got pipes.
Yeah.
I mean, pipes.
Is it actually him singing?
Don't think so.
Okay.
Because, I mean, if it is, why isn't Mark Wahlberg in Journey?
Well, he did have his own Marky Mark and the Funk.
Yeah, but he was a rapper.
Well, you don't know what he's capable of.
I mean, no, but I'm saying if he had pipes like this,
yeah,
then it would be like, oh, what a waste of a talent. Like,
he
or just
done
like
his like 30 Seconds to Mars kind of like.
Yeah, or why haven't these directors had him singing more movies? Like when you hear this, you're like, oh, if he could sing like that, then he could lead sing in Journey.
Yeah,
it's like what the, because the notes he's hitting are like Led Zeppelin kind of song, and he's hitting those high, yeah, and he's hitting them. So it's like whoever's doing it is like, oh, that's a real singer.
Okay,
you know. So Aniston, they get in the car and he's all beating up himself about how it's over. And she tells him, hey, you should write your own songs. This is just a new opportunity. You got to look at it like that. And he's like, no way. Why? So everyone can make fun of me? And then she's like, I'm not going to make fun of you. I love your originals. What about this one original you wrote? And she starts singing it to him. And he doesn't care. He's like, tunes her out and just like, camera fades as him just kind of like mad. Just not.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a fuck about that. He wants to be Steel Dragon. This is some like worship shit.
I feel so sad for this guy.
Not the movie you thought it was going to be, huh?
No.
I really like this movie because it's not what you think it's going to be.
Yeah, this is so upsetting.
Because you're like, oh, it's just going to be some tale of a guy coming up in Rockstar. And it's like, no. It's a way different angle.
Okay.
So the next day, he's knocked out in his bed. Phone rings downstairs. His mom answers it. Chris, telephone. He wakes up. He comes downstairs. Hello. Hey, Chris. This is Chris Cole, right? It? And he's dudes with a British accent. He's like, hey, this is Eddie Kurt. This is Kurt Cuddy. And then Mark Wahlberg goes, yeah, it is. And he hangs up. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And he goes to walk off, phone calls again. And then Mark Wahlberg's like, look, dude, your British accent sucks. It's almost as bad as your guitar playing. Stop calling me. And the guy goes, well, I don't know what to do about the British accent, mate, but I hope you really don't think my guitar playing sucks. And he's like, who is this? Cuddy from Steel Dragon? Whoa, shit, right? And he goes, is this you, mate? And he puts on the tape from them last night at the concert.
Uh-huh.
All right? Somebody sent them the tape.
Yeah.
And he's like, this you, mate? And he's like, yeah, that's me. How did you get that? And he tells him, don't worry about that, man. And Mark starts fanning out. Dude, I'm so sorry. First off, let me say I apologize. I heard that your cat died, and I'm so sorry.
Oh my
and,
God.
like, I heard that this happened and this happened. And the guy's like, okay, mate, just relax. Like, he's like, relax, dude.
Uh-huh.
Look, that's not why I'm calling you to hear about me. I'm really calling you I want you to come out here. I booked a flight for you to L.A. tomorrow. The ticket's at the airport. It's under your name. But remember, tell no one about this. Literally no one. He's like, okay. All right, can I bring my girl? He's like, yeah, you can bring your girl. He's like, all right, see you there tomorrow. He's like, all right, see you tomorrow, mate. And he hangs up. He's like, what the fuck? Cut to, you see him and Aniston on the plane. They're so excited. They land. When they land, there's this girl, like, with like the sign, like Chris Cole.
Yeah.
She's really hot. Like, really hot.
Like hotter than Jennifer Aniston?
No. I'd say she is the Angelina Jolie type.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
A different kind of hot.
Just a slutty hot. That kind of hot.
Okay.
The black lipstick and the black eyeliner. You know what I mean?
Okay.
The dark look.
Like the dark.
The Jolie.
Mysterious hot. Versus the girl next door hot.
I'm sure Jen doesn't like that girl as much now. Or does she? Who knows? Maybe she's over Brad. It's hard to say.
I mean, if the magazines are any.
Well, if you go off the magazines,
not over it.
You would think she's going to kill herself any day over Brad Pitt still. Because they're still making it seem like they can't believe that didn't work out.
Every time I'm in the grocery store, they're still bringing it up.
Yeah, it's like Jennifer Aniston caught on Brad Pitt's Facebook masturbating. You're like, who? How do y'all? How did y'all know?
She's like one of the most successful women in the world. Why would she even care?
And I'm pretty sure she's like, is she still single? I think she fucks around.
Well, she's been with what's his face, the singer guy. Who was always with Dave?
Mayor.
She's with John.
Well, I know he's a single guy.
Yeah, but they were together she got together with him after Brad, so she's had some
that's
time
rebound
to
sex, though. That's just rock star rebound sex.
I know, but my point is it doesn't mean she's still hung up on Brad.
I don't
been
think
with hot guys.
Yeah, successful men.
Successful men.
Yeah, it is weird that they make her seem like she's like Angelina Jolie's just doing great and she's just fucking killing herself.
Also, if career-wise, I would say Jennifer's career has gone up more than Angelina's has.
Relax.
Angelina's is plateaued while Jennifer's still continuing.
I will
to
say
ascend.
this: if Angelina's plateaued, she plateaued at the highest level you can plateau at.
I'm not saying that
She
that's
was
not
Maleficent.
the case. I'm not saying that that's not the case. But I'm saying Jennifer's still on an upward trajectory.
Yeah. I would say, Angelina gets roles that Jennifer doesn't get, like action roles and shit like that. That Jennifer's just
but
not
that
going to
doesn't
get.
mean anything. That doesn't mean you're more successful.
Doesn't mean those
Jennifer
movies
gets
are a little.
more.
She gets more comedies.
More depth roles too. I would say.
Definitely not. Jennifer just gets comedies.
That's not true.
Yes, she does.
I guess maybe that's so. She's not done anything.
What
serious
Oscar
this is
stuff
serious?
It's even when you see this as a comedy. What serious
Oh, wow.
Oscar stuff has
I guess she hasn't done any Oscar
whereas
stuff. That's
Jolie
true.
has done like
Girl Interrupted.
so many serious roles.
Yeah.
Oscar-worthy roles, action roles.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. I love Jennifer Aniston, but I'm not going to say that her career is better than Angelina Jolie's. I would say they have the exact same career, just different paths.
Okay.
Would you agree with
I
that?
mean, they've ended at the same spot.
Ended at the same spot, got there differently.
Got there different. Okay, fair. But who do you think has more money?
Jolie, she was married to Brad.
I don't know if the marriage means that she has more. On her own, don't you think Jennifer has more money? I heard that each of the friends makes $50,000 a day.
Yeah, but Maleficent made over like $2 billion, and they made like 3 of them. So I can't imagine what the bag is for that. She was fucking Laura Croft Tomb Raider. Like her bags have been different.
Okay, bigger bags.
Maybe bags.
Maybe fewer bags, but bigger bags.
Though Jennifer Aniston does way more commercial stuff, like literal commercial stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like product placement and all those kind of things.
That's true.
And that's big money too.
That is big money.
That's huge money. So it's like, though Jolie's married to Brad, she's got kids with that nigga. That's the bag. Kids with Brad Pitt? That's the bag.
I guess.
You don't think so?
Kids cost a lot of money.
Sam, what are you talking about? To us, to regular people, we're talking about Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt right now.
Okay. You're fair. All right. I guess Angelina Jolie is better than Jennifer Aniston.
No one said that. You said Jennifer had a better career, and I was like, well, I'm going to argue this because I disagree with
she
this.
has a more consistent career.
She puts out more stuff, and she's in commercials, so we see her face is more prevalent. I'll give you that. I would not say that she's had a better career because Jolie has just done some bigger, deeper projects.
Who is more famous?
Jennifer. Her face, I mean, she was just on TV more. Commercials, Friends, comedy movies, these things like that. Mm-hmm. Whereas Jolie is like a Brad Pitt where you see her when you see her.
Yeah.
But neither one of them are as famous as Brad Pitt.
That's true. Very few people are more famous than Brad Pitt.
Also, that's a great point. Very few people are more famous than Brad Pitt. Very few people. Well, they all kind of hang together. Like I consider them all as Leo, Jamie Foxx. They're all the same person in my head.
They're like really famous.
They're just too famous.
Yeah.
Actually, Jamie's more famous than all of them because he's got music and he's black. So he has this black audience who loves Jamie just as much as anybody else. And then you got every white person also who loves Jamie just as much as anyone else.
You think he's more famous than Leo and Brad?
No, I would say Jamie, maybe. Just maybe because of the music. It's just maybe.
That's true.
Because it's like some guy in Africa still might know.
Some guy in Africa definitely knows who Brad Pitt is.
No. I meant like some what the fucking song? I can't think of the song.
Oh, blame it on the goose.
Blame it on the goose. Blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the alcohol. And I mean, and the song with Kanye, Gold Digger. Gold Digger too.
Oh yeah, they did that song together too.
So it's like, oof.
It's 2 songs.
2 of the biggest songs.
2 more songs than Brad Pitt has ever had.
That's what I'm saying.
Or Leonardo DiCaprio.
And he got an Oscar just like them boys.
That's true.
They don't got that. That's the only reason I say maybe. Because music touches people differently sometimes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But I don't know because it's Leo and Brad too. So I don't know. I mean, they're all first name basis. Jamie, Leo, Brad.
That's true. Although I feel when I say Jamie, I need to say Jamie Foxx.
Because the Fox kind of makes it.
Yeah. If you just say Jamie, it's like, are you talking about Jamie from JRE?
That's a pretty good drop off though to the next famous Jamie. I would say really that's a big drop off to the next famous Jamie.
He's the only other Jamie that's just one word. They never say Jamie's last name.
That's why I think if you said, "Hey man, Jamie," I think people would be like, "Oh, Jamie Foxx."
Yeah, you're probably right.
And then
they'd be like, "Oh, you mean from Joe Rogan?"
So Tom Hanks is also just as famous as all these guys. I mean, or if not more famous, but you gotta say Hanks. You can't just say Tom.
Yeah, but he's older than them. He's from a different generation of fame.
What, like the Denzel era? Because they're the same age.
Yeah. He's older than those other guys.
I would not say he's more famous, though. Tom Hanks than Brad and him?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I guess it depends on the population you're talking to, like the age group.
I would say he's just as famous because also that age group who loves Tom, they also know Brad, Jamie, and
That's true.
And Leo. So, yeah, man, I think that's the peak, that level. I'm trying to think if there's anyone more famous, and it's like Michael Jackson, but he died. I think Michael Jackson's probably the most famous person besides Jesus to ever live.
That's possible. You think they're more famous than Trump?
Yeah. Michael Jackson?
I'm just saying he's pretty famous now.
That nigga didn't make Thriller, bro.
He didn't, but that doesn't mean the whole country isn't talking about him. And the world!
Yeah. But
what do we do? Yeah.
It's this. Trump gets these 4 or 8 years to be like the main guy. Michael Jackson was the main guy on planet Earth since he was literally 7 years old.
That's true.
So just to give Michael some, it's like Trump and them niggas wasn't the most famous nigga walking planet Earth at 7 and at 50. That nigga was the most famous person on Earth from age 7 to 50.
Was he famous on his own right? Like, it's not like people were like Michael Jackson. They said
he was the star.
5.
Yeah, but it was like
and the little guy.
I would say this. He was the Beyonce to that Destiny's Child.
I'm not denying that. I'm saying, but when he was in his Destiny's Child, they're not like, he's not who he is when he's Michael Jackson. It's a different person. So it's like to say he's the most famous person in the world from the time he was 7 to the time. And that's not true. We all know that he becomes more famous after Thriller comes out. It changes everything.
Which is crazy because he was already so famous.
He's already so famous. True.
So to hit whatever that next plateau was, which was, I mean, besides Jesus, who knows? Who can talk? I mean, maybe the Beatles. There's only a couple people who've hit, I'd say, that stratosphere where it was like,
yeah,
everyone in the world knew who they were.
Mm-hmm.
But again,
sorry,
how we got here? Jennifer Aniston's one of those people.
Jennifer Aniston's one of the most famous people ever.
She's one of those. I'm not taking anything. I don't know how we got in this argument.
I had 7 pictures of her up in her old apartment.
That makes sense. You did have a lot of pictures of her up.
I like her.
Hope you guys enjoyed that.
More famous.
Who's more famous, Jennifer Aniston or Michael Jackson? So they land. The girl's waiting on them, right, with a little sign. And then Mark's looking at her like, oh, my God, you used to be with Bobby, like the lead singer. Didn't you guys used to be together? And she was like, yeah, mate. And she was like, all right, come with me, you know. And then she's like, but she's being crazy flirtatious with him, right? So they get in the limousine. They drive over. They pull into like the dude, like the driveway of the dude's mansion. We're like the upcoming to the gate, fans all outside the gate. You know what I mean? Like they're that level of rock star, you know? And he's just like so excited. Because he's just looking at him, and people are like, oh, my God, are you famous? Are you in the band? He's like, I don't know. And, like, Living on a Prayer is playing in the background. And he's just, just halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. And he's just this huge mansion, and they're in L.A., and it's just everything like you would dream of, as a rock star. So they pull in, and as they pull in, they go into the studio, and some other guy is singing for the band. And they're kind of looking at him, and they're like, all right, mate, that's enough. And that guy walks out, and they call Chris in. And Chris comes in. They're like, hey, mate, how you going? They introduce him to the band, and this is the reason you're here. And as they start to tell him why he's here, the actual lead singer busts in. Fuck you, mate. You going to do this to me? Huh? You going to fire me? Fuck all of you. And he goes, and they're like, oh, Bobby. And they're like, you fired me, huh? This is because I'm gay, isn't it, Cut? It's because I'm gay. And Mark Wahlberg's looking at him like, because this is the guy who's been idolizing.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're gay? And he looks at him, and he's like, I got a piss nipples, my hand, my fucking, like, and my tongue ring. What the fuck do you think, mate? And you see Mark Wahlberg, like that. He's like fuck,
he's realizing what he's been
doing.
That's so funny.
And then the other guys in the band are like, you think we give a toss who you're buggering? You know we don't care. You miss gigs on the tour. You miss dates. You miss rehearsals. That's why we're letting you go, And then he's like, fuck you guys, I am Steel Dragon, huh? And you see, they come back to Chris, and Chris and Aniston are looking at each other like, the fuck is happening? Like, how are we here for this, right? And the guy looks at him, and he literally does the same shit Chris did with his band. Well, if I leave now, I'm never coming back. And they're like, good. He's like, I'm serious, mates. If I leave, I'm never coming back. It's over. And they're like, we heard you the first time. And then Chris looks at her again like I can't believe this is how all of us, like, everyone acts like this.
Yeah.
And so they go, he looks at him, right? So they go leave, and he looks at Chris, and he's so mad, and he goes, you can never be me. No matter how much you want to be me, and you can look like me, you'll never fucking be me because you have no idea what it takes, huh? You don't know what it's like to get, like, and he lists, like, all the things he has to do. Like, all these sacrifices, like, you know what I mean? Like, going to, he's like, what do you think? Everybody thinks, you think rock and roll, sex, drugs, and rock and roll? It's not. Sex, well, you know who I'm fucking. Drugs, never did one in my life. I don't drink. In bed every night at 11 p.m., especially before gigs. That's what it takes, mate. It's not all this bullshit. You know what I mean? Like giving them the real of like, nigga, this shit ain't what we make it look like.
Yeah.
This is a game, And he's going off, and he goes, he says, and like Chris is sitting there like all nervous, and he goes, mate, why don't you just go get your own life? Huh? Go get your own life instead of just being another Elvis. Right? And then his bandmates go, well, Elvis was the king at least, wasn't he? And all of the guys start laughing at him, because he's gay.
Yeah.
And he takes off his wig, and that fucks Mark Wahlberg up even more because he's like, because his hair wasn't even real.
Yeah.
He takes off his wig. He's like, well, I guess I'm the queen, ain't I? And he leaves. And Mark Wahlberg's like, and they're like, all right, you want to get in the studio, mate?
Whoa.
And he's just his first taste of like what it really is like.
His whole worldview is like upside down.
For sure. You would be like,
crazy.
Oh, fuck. This is what it is?
Also, I think you spent so much of your life trying to be someone else and you didn't even know who they were.
Yeah, and you find out like, oh, he didn't know who he was. Like, he didn't want to be this guy.
Yeah.
Like, he had to like keep this image together for this hardcore rock band.
Yeah.
So They put Chris in the studio and they play a song for him, and he's all nervous as shit, and he messes it up. And they're like, all right, mate, just try it again. He does it again, and he messes up again. And they're like, all right, man, I think we're good. He's like, let me do it one more time. And he looks at Jennifer Aniston. She's like, I love you. Right? And he's like, let the river flow through my callous hands. Dun, 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 dun. And it makes my stomach turn. That's my favorite part of the whole movie. It makes my stomach turn. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, and we all die young. It's like one of their ballad kind of songs. Yeah. Like one of those. And he hits the note like, young. And he holds it crazy long. Mm-hmm. And the bandmates hit stop. And he looks at him. He's all nervous. And then you see them like, they're like, not even like hard. They're just like casually talking to each other like, mm-hmm. Well, mate, you want the gig or not? And then he's like, oh, cut to like, damn, and like the hard rock is right kicks in, and they're like doing a live like a photo shoot. Like, come on, mates, let me get serious rocker faces. You're doing the form tonight. Let's go, serious, angry. And Mark Wahlberg the whole time is like this. And they're like, mate, we need a serious face. And he goes, okay. And he's just like, he can't stop, huge smile. So they do that, right? And they cut to, they're doing an interview. And like the band is talking about like, hey, well, this is our new singer, Izzy, and they change his name to Izzy and all this stuff. And then they have him talk, and he has to talk in a British accent.
No.
Yeah.
How bad
How's it going? I'm Izzy. No, he's just like that. I'm Izzy, and I'm a new member of the band. I'm just grateful to be here, Like that. So
they're saying like they found him in England and brought him over?
His name's Izzy. Because they're all English.
Okay.
So they want to, you're trying, it's fake.
Okay.
That's the whole point, is what it's like, oh, this is all bullshit.
Wow. Okay.
So, as we know, a lot of everything is in Hollywood. Didn't know if you knew that, Beaners.
Little inside scoop.
A little inside scoop for you. You know nothing.
It's all fake.
Everything you think about what's going on in the comedy world or the Hollywood world or all that shit, nigga, that's not what's going on.
Deric isn't even black. It's all fake.
I'm just an Asian woman. I unzip. So, his old bandmates are watching him on TV, and they're all like, they can't believe it. And then the one he got into the fight with, remember the one who kicked him out of the band? He's looking, and he's smiling, like he's really happy for him.
Oh, that's nice.
He's really happy for him. Because he knows at the end of the day, too, he's the one who's like, oh, he really wanted this.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't want to be his own solo artist. He wanted
to be in Steel Dragon.
That's what and he got it,
That's crazy.
So cut to him in the mirror. Now, the next day, he's practicing his British accent. And he's trying to, practicing talking dirty like a rock star. Yeah, I eat pussy, mate. That's how I lick up pussy, mate. Like, he's just, trying to talk like them.
Yeah.
Like, already, you know what I mean? Cut to the first night. They're at the Forum. They're right before the show. People, 20,000, 30,000 people piling in. Mm-hmm. And you see the bandmates, they're all heading in, right? And they all wish him luck. Like, good luck, mate, good luck. And they all head out. And he's panicking to Jennifer Aniston because he's so nervous. And she's like, you're going to do she's like, Chris, calm down, baby. You know you're going to do great. Chris, look at me. You're going to do great. And he's like, don't call me that. It's Izzy. You already, it's like, it's Izzy. It's Izzy. Call me Izzy.
Guys.
And then she looks at him and she's like, you're going to do great, babe. She didn't say, she's like, you're going to do great, babe. I feel her too, like, you know what? I'm going to get away with it because you're right before a show, but I'm not going to call you that.
Now, do we feel like Jennifer Aniston's really in love with him, or is she just with him for the talent?
No, she loves him. Okay. You know she loves him. Remember when I told you she was talking about the original songs he wrote?
Yeah.
She's talking about how the first time she met him and how she's been worshiping him ever since. And this is when they were in high school. So she loves him. All right? So, he right then, as he says that, Peter Pettigrew walks up. He's the manager of the band. And he goes, all right, love, back to the hen house with you. And he points her up to where all the other hoes are. And then she looks and she's like, actually, I'm going to go out and watch with his parents because his parents are out in the front. Mm-hmm. And then he goes, you tell Peter, because he's been in this life so long. Yeah. He's my favorite person in the whole movie. When you see it, you'll see why. He's just so he's like, whatever, love. You know what I mean? Like, bitch, what do you think this is?
Yeah. Go
with the hoes. Go be with his parents. It doesn't matter.
Just get out.
Get out. Exactly. Yeah. You don't matter anymore. You could just just the way he said it was so love. Who gives a fuck where you go? We're in an arena with 20,000. This is so much bigger than you.
Yeah.
So she goes off, and he's scared as shit. And they put him on the high rise thing, and he starts high rising up to the stage. He comes up, he turns around, stage lights, 20,000 people. Still dragging. And he looks and he does that classic like rocker yell, that like that shit.
Yeah.
Crowd, right?
Yeah.
He starts walking down the stairs, like doing like about to start singing the song, and as he starts, because it's like stairs down to like where the other bandmates are, right? Because he's like up on the platform. As he walks down, he trips. Slow motion.
Oh.
Bam! Lands really hard.
Marky Mark.
Blood all over his face.
Yeah.
All over his face. Every looking around in slow motion. The other bandmates are like, as they're playing, get up. Like, get up.
Yeah.
Like you see him like, get up, come on. And then he gets up. He's all in slow-mo still. And the crowd's kind of looking at him, kind of like still cheering, but kind of everybody's kind of like looking at him. And because there's blood all over his face, and he perfect just goes, and now everybody, any human being would be like, oh, fuck yeah, this is it. This is what I came to see, a guy fucking fall off and keep rocking.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And his other bandmates are encouraging him now, and he keeps the song going. And then, like, everybody's loving him. And then there's a section of people who have Bring Back Bobby signs.
Okay.
And he goes and he gets, like, a fire hose, and he sprays him. So, of course, now the crowd is like,
this is crazy.
This guy, you know? And then he keeps singing. And then he grabs the mic, right? And the crowd's going nuts. And he goes, look, guys, I'm just a regular guy who grew up with posters of these guys in his bed. And I'm living proof that if you want anything bad enough, you can make it come true. Yeah, and everybody's like, because he's so excited because he means it.
Is he doing it in his fake British accent, or is he doing it?
He's doing it in his real voice.
Oh, in his real voice.
Because he's like serious. But the crowd's loving it. Like,
okay,
they're like,
okay.
You know? And then he does the song, he breaks into that song he auditioned with you.
Yeah.
It makes my stomach turn, and we all die young. The fire and the flames come up. The band runs off the stage. They all go into the back of the green room, like concert ends, right? That's what concert ends. And they're giving him all the love he's ever wanted in his life.
Yeah.
You know, like, Mike, when you did that, and like kind of talk after a show where it's like, you know, like the specific stuff, like, oh, when you did this, Mike, that, oh, you hit that going perfect. Oh, when you did the transition to this, oh, Mike, you got it, you did it, bro. And he's just like, because it's his heroes telling him all this. So you could like, there's you see them talking, and then just shots of his face, like this is, I can't believe this is me. This is for me, you know. And he's so happy. And then cut to you see him and Aniston getting in a limo, right, with his parents. And Aniston, by the way, has on this see-through dress. Ooh. You can see the
no
thong.
Bra?
The thong. No bra.
No bra. Classic
This bitch is
Aniston.
so bad, bro. She is so bad in this. My God. And so as they're driving out in the limo, women are flashing their titties at him. You know, like his parents are like, even like, because it's like they're happy for him because it's like, oh my God, I can't believe my son is like, this is crazy.
Rock star.
Yeah.
And also, they've been supporting him all this
so
time.
So you feel for like, because they're like, and they're just cheering for him. He takes them all out to a big nightclub. They all go out, family and everything. They're all having a great time, right? And the band calls him over, and he's now a celebrity. Like everyone in the club is like on his nuts. You know what I'm saying? Everybody. So the band calls him over, and they're like, mate, come on, we gotta inaugurate you, man. You know, you can't just play the song. You got to be inaugurating the band. You got to do a shot. And they make him do a shot, like, out of a girl's titties.
Okay.
You know? And Jennifer Aniston's, like, watching, like, not mad, but, like, clearly, like
I don't like this.
And what do you say? What do you do? It's like it's a situation where you got to let him. This is all he's ever wanted. You got to let him have this, you know? And the band's making him do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like a...
Yeah, it's like a fraternal thing.
Yeah,
you don't want to, like, break up the boys.
Yeah, and you also, it's like, what, am I going to ruin this for him?
Yeah.
He just got it.
Yeah.
You know? So she's sitting there and she's kind of annoyed. Pettigrew comes up. And he's noticing it. I told you, bro, he's the best character in the whole movie. And he's real slick. He's like, you know, he's talking to her. He's like, hey, man, don't be upset, love. You know this is all just good fun. And she's like, yeah, I know. He's like, seriously, it's not real love. It's all just for stories. It's just for the stories, you know? And she's like, yeah, okay. And he goes, you know, you can have a good time as well. She looks at him. He's like, yeah. Anything you want, you just ask. Don't forget, okay? And she's like, what the fuck? And he walks off.
What does that mean?
He's a man.
Is he trying to hit it?
He's saying, like, I can, like, what I felt what you're saying was like, hey, whatever you want as well. Like, this world isn't just, it's for all of it. Like, if you want something, let me know.
Okay.
Like, don't be jealous of him because his life's so crazy.
Okay.
If you want something, I can take care of that too.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That was the vibe I got from him. Of like, basically letting her know, like, hey, this life's about to get a little crazy.
Yeah.
So buckle up.
Uh-huh.
So Right then, that Tanya chick, you know, the chick that got them from the beginning of the movie, she was super hot.
Oh, yeah, you didn't tell me her name.
Her name's Tanya, right?
Yeah, you called her Angelina
Yeah, the
Jolie.
one he said that was with the lead guy. He thought was with the lead guy.
But obviously she's a beard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So she walks up to Chris and she's like, you know, every woman in here wants to fuck you right now. And he's like, really? And he looks around and you can see it. Like he feels like every woman clearly in the whole club. Yeah. Like it's that feeling of like, whoa, I'm the center of attention right now. It's like on me, you know? And then she's like, you know what you've turned me into? One of your dirty little groupies. And then right when she's about to like try and like grab his dick and kiss him, Aniston walks up. And she's like, oh my God, we were just talking about you, love. And Aniston like grabs him and they start making out. Because they're both fucked up at this point, drunk.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Tanya girl's like, ooh, God, if I was both of you, I'd spend all my time in bed. Come with me. And she grabs both of them and they start walking into the dance floor. Fucking really hard, like party music starts playing.
Yeah.
Like that kind of like heartbeat shit. And as it's going, it's like in slow-mo, you see her like she puts ecstasy in both their mouths. And then they're making out. And then him and Tanya are making out. And then Jennifer and Tanya are making out. And then other people come in. And then they get like lost in the intoxication of this moment.
Drugs.
Yeah. And just like, wow, we can have whatever we want right now. You know? And so you see them like kissing and making out with each other and shit. Camera fades out. Like all these other people around him. Aniston wakes up. And she's like fucked up. She's like, she rubs her eyes. She looks at her. She's naked. And she looks around and she's in a random hotel room with random ass butt naked people everywhere.
Aww.
Just random people. And she's like, and you see her like grab her shit and she like sneaks out and she's like so embarrassed, right? And she just sneaks out while everybody's knocked out.
Yeah.
She goes out, cut to Chris. You see Chris knocked out. He wakes up. He's in a different room, butt naked people everywhere.
Whoa.
Right? He's looking around like, what the fuck? He puts on his underwear. You know what I mean? He's like looking, and then he goes to the bathroom, and when he opens the door, the Tanya girl is in there pissing, standing up. Morning, mate. You were incredible last night, lover. You see her like shaking like that, and he's just like, and he just takes off.
Whoa. She's got a peeper.
So
like
she
one
wasn't
of those
a beard.
ladies in the pornos.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't a beard. Whoa.
Makes a little more sense now.
It does make a little more sense now. Okay.
Crazy, bro. So he runs out the room.
Yeah.
He runs up to his room. Jennifer Aniston's walking in as well. They look at each other, and they both like look like fucked up, right? And then she says, "Let's not talk about this." And he goes, "Okay." And then they just walk in the room quietly. Scene ends. Wow. That was his first night in Rockstar World.
Wow. Damn, this poor couple.
This movie's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel so. Oh my gosh. Okay, just tell me what happens. I feel so bad for them already. I can see like.
You see where this is going.
I see their whole lives ending. I'm like, no, this relationship is crumbling.
So they're leaving in the morning, right? The next morning, band's packing up. They're clearly going to the next city. Like all the tour buses and all the stage hands and semi-trucks, like that kind of production, right?
Yeah.
So they walk out, him and Peter Pettigrew walks up. All right? And he goes, oh, love. Well, I'm sorry, but there's a rule. No wives allowed on the bus because she's trying to come up on the bus. And he's like, the wives actually travel behind. And there's a limo, and you see all the wives getting in the limo. And Aniston goes, okay. Well, what are these women? And you see these other hoes getting let in on the bus.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, well, that's Kirk's astrologist. That's, his therapist. That's his, massage artist. And then, of course, these three girls, well, you know what they're for. Right, love? And then Mark, and now she looks at him like, at Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah,
like, well.
What are you going to do?
And he's like, you know what? It's all good. He's like, hey, man, it's all good. The Pettigrew's like, I'll just ride it with the wife. Beaners. Sorry for the interruption, but this is a commercial ad. Do you like football players? Do you like Instagram?
Do you like football players who are fathers and handsome and strong and friends with Deric?
If you like all those things or you're interested, do we have a place for you to go? Darren Bates, the Darren Bates page on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, at WestlandSon_56. You're going to follow him. You're going to subscribe. You will tell him the Beans sent you. You will subscribe to the Raw Room podcast. Isn't that right, Sam?
Subscribe to the Raw Room. Like all their stuff.
You like everything on the Raw Room. You subscribe to everything on the Raw Room.
Watch the episodes.
You watch the fucking episodes, obviously.
Leave comments.
Leave comments. You show Darren Bates love. He pays for this, so you make sure he's getting his money's worth. That's on you. That's not on me. So, Beaners, you go show Darren Bates our love. Our love, your love. Give the president of the Beans some love. Show some love to the Tennessee Titans. I don't give a fuck who your team is, because when you listen to Spoil the Beans, you're a Titans fan, and that's how it rolls.
Yep.
Now, back to the episode. Sorry about that, Beaners. Technical difficulties, again, because we're new at this.
We're learning.
We're learning, and we're doing it all on our own, and I'm sorry, and I'm not sorry, and then I give a fuck, and I don't give a fuck. Lots of feelings running through my body right now.
I mean, at least we have is the sound recording?
What do you mean?
Remember the first one? We didn't have the sound.
Yeah, at least it sounds good.
At least the sound is good.
This whole episode, it sounds good. Was there a mix-up in the middle? Yeah. Because the camera fucked up. We're learning, guys. We're learning. Sam, what was the last thing you remember?
They asked Jennifer Aniston to get on the limousine with the wives.
With the wives. She does. She does not want to, but she does.
Doesn't want
and
to.
he's like, oh, this is the rules. I'm sorry. And he runs off, right?
Piece of shit.
So the wives are talking to him, talking to Aniston, and they go, hey, he's a rock star now. Like the rules don't apply. Like the regular rules of life don't apply anymore. And then she's like, my Chris isn't like that. And she's like trying to ignore him. And the other girls are like, hey, we all know what happens on that bus. Like, bitch.
Yeah.
We're hoes.
Yeah. We used to be on the bus.
We used to be on the bus, and now we're married to these niggas. Like, one of the girls says, and one of the girls is like, I met Ricky on the bus. You know what I mean? And they all like, and it's like, bitch, what do you think? Also, I didn't like that Jennifer was talking to them like they don't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. It's like, if anybody knows what's going on,
they know what's going on.
It's because these aren't the regular groupies. These are the groupies who made it to the next level.
Yeah.
You're
pro
new.
Groupies.
Yeah, these are pro. These are the LeBron James of hoes.
They are the LeBron James of hoes.
So, one girl tells him like, "Hey, you don't have to worry about them because at the end of the day, they always come home. And who's to say we can't have our own fun, right?" And all the girls giggle, and cheat on them.
No, I know.
Okay. And then one girl goes, "Look, here are the rules, honey. Learn to share, never sign anything, and get really close with his financial accountant." Which actually aren't bad ways to be a hoe.
Yeah, it's not terrible. Look out for yourself.
Probably get pregnant. It would be fourth.
Maybe get pregnant. I don't know. See, this is the whole thing. This is the 80s. This is like AIDS, right? Like, is happening. Or it has not happened yet.
AIDS is 80s, 90s.
Yeah. Aren't you nervous about AIDS?
No.
Oh, okay.
What? Because at this time, also, Sam, only gay people get it in your head.
Oh.
It's the gay plague.
That's true. It's still the gay thing.
So, when does it become a straight? Like, I don't think it became like straight people were worried about it until like Magic Johnson and Eazy-E and like straight people started like famous people were like
needles and stuff.
Yeah, and then people were like, you can get it from a bunch of different ways.
There's a lot of ways to get AIDS.
Because I would say in the 80s, it was like during the Freddie Mercury time, it was strictly like, oh, it's a gay thing.
Yeah, that's true. They were still saying that.
So, he has an interview with MTV, right? Mm-hmm. More time. Like the time goes on. Like they tours, like they tour for like months. Like the calendar is like flipping like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
a lot of time.
Planning at least like half a year, of them just doing this whole tour, right? He's having an interview with MTV. And she's like, Chris, I need to talk to you. He's like, honey, I got the interview with MTV. I can't. And then she's like, seriously, Chris, I need to talk to you. He pulls her to the side. He's like, hey, don't call me that. It's Izzy. It's Izzy. And she's so annoyed. She's like, honey, I'm going to Seattle. And he's like, what? What are you talking about? And she's like, me and my friend Marcy. And he's like, who's Marcy? And then that look, and any guy who's got a girlfriend has seen this look of when your girl's told you something 100 times and you go, what are you talking about? And then she looks at you like, and you don't even have to let her say anything because you already know, oh, this bitch has definitely told me this multiple times.
I know the look.
You know the look.
I made the look before.
You've given me the look. Might be giving it to me right now. I'm scared to look over there.
Don't look at me.
Not. But that look is, to any man who's been with a woman over like a year, is fucking terrifying. Because you're like, because it's also, you're like, fuck, I do know.
What did I do wrong?
No, you're like, I know who Marcy. Because in your head, you're like, I think I do know who this bitch is. Like, I can't place her or know why I know her, but I can't act like she hasn't brought her up. So she tells her how her and her friend have this business idea that they've been wanting to start, and they're really going to do it, and she's moving to Seattle to start it. And then he's like, babe, is this a money thing? I'll just give you the money. Just ask me for it. That line there is where I'm terrified because I know I can't imagine what Sam would do to me if I said that to you.
I would kill you so much. I would be like, can I not have my own life? Can I not be a real person? Do I just have to be your, plaything that follows you around? That's horrible.
Yeah, that's harsh, bro.
She can't even just start a business on her own, Marky Mark.
Where's the funky bunch when you need them? You know what I mean? So she goes, you know, he's like, no. She's like, he apologized. He's like, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. She's like, it's not that. And he's like, well, are you leaving me? She's like, no, I'm not leaving you. Honey, I can't do this. And she points, and it's just like, celebrity, MTV interviews, celebrities everywhere, hoes everywhere. It's just like, you know, she's like, I can't do this anymore. He's like, what are you talking about? I thought this was fun. I thought we were having fun. She's like, yeah, it's for you. You're having fun. And she's like, I'm not mad. I want you to have fun. Enjoy yourself. But like, I don't need to be here for this.
Yeah.
Like, why, you know?
I don't have to hold your hand anymore.
Yeah. Just go.
You've done it.
You did it. Go have fun.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, can we meet up when I get to Seattle? And she's like, of course. Of course. I'm going to be there right when you, like, I'll be there waiting for you. Like, I just don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to ride I don't want to ride in a car all over the country following you.
With a bunch of women I don't know. A bunch of hoes.
That I don't even like hanging with these bitches.
Yeah.
We're not the same. So, you know, they hug, they kiss, she leaves. He stands there all sad. And one of his bandmates was getting an IV, like, across the room.
Mm-hmm.
And he's looked like he watched it all go down. He's like, "Oi, mate, come here." He calls him over. He's like, "Yeah, what's up, man?" He goes, "Can I give you some advice, mate?" And Mark's like, "Yeah." Let the chick go, man. Let her go. Make it easy on yourself. Make it easy on her. Like, he's being real with him, not like, you know what I mean? Like, super real with him. He's like, what? He's like, it can't work, mate. It just can't. It won't. You know? And he's like, why? It's just so much pussy coming at you. So much pussy coming at you every day. It wears you down, mate. All these birds want to have it off with you. And and because all these birds wanted you, all the guys want to be you. And the guys buy the albums. So if the girls don't want you, the guys don't want to be you, the guys don't buy the albums, you're not. He said, then you're pissed out of luck, mate.
Oh, that's shitty. So he's saying it's like, like if you don't get rid of her, you can't even be a rock star because you have to be fucking these women.
He didn't say that. He said, make it easy on her and yourself.
Okay.
Let her go.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with what he's saying. You don't agree?
I guess he's right.
Because I think he makes sense. He's like, I do think it's fucking what you're saying. Like, oh, you have to do all this to be a rock star? He's like, no, you don't have to. It makes it better. And if you're going to do it, I'd let her go.
Yeah.
So you don't hurt her.
Yeah, that's fair.
You don't agree? You don't think so? I'm not saying it's not fucked.
I just feel like it's really shitty thing for him to do considering she's been with him since high school. She supported him while he was this, like, loser kind of guy just obsessing about a band. And she believed in him all this time. And then when things are finally going your way and you don't need her anymore, you just drop her.
I agree with you. That's fucked. But I have a question for you.
She at least deserves alimony.
I have a question for you. Put her through the pain or just drop her?
No, marry her and then
put her through the pain.
And then divorce her so that she can take some of your money. That would be the only fair thing
She would
to do.
divorce you. Wouldn't she divorce him?
Wouldn't matter.
No, you're saying instead of just ending it with her now to save her the misery, he should marry her.
Okay, maybe not
make
marry
her put it through it worse.
Give her a bunch of money.
So you're saying she just deserves a bunch. So he should break up with her but give her a bunch of money.
Yes, there should be a severance package.
He shouldn't string her along.
No, he shouldn't string her along.
That's what the guy's saying.
But also,
that's what the guy's saying.
I get that he's saying that, but he's saying just break up with her, and it's like, hey, this isn't just like some bitch. This is like this is a woman that totally built you up. Like this is like, you know how when you hear about couples and like, I paid for you to go through law school, you know, like things like that. That's what this is.
Yeah, but the guy is like, hey man, you're either gonna put her through hell.
I get that.
Or you're going to put both of you through hell.
Invest in her business and then break up with her. Do something for her that doesn't make her feel like it was like, I just wasted the last decade of my life following this guy around.
Yeah. I get, because it's like, man, when you see that kind of lifestyle, it's like, yeah, bro, break up with her. There's no chance.
There's no chance.
You get Metallica pussy thrown at you? There's no chance, bro. There's no chance.
I guess.
That's a lot of pussy.
Yeah.
Metallica?
A lot of pussy.
So he looks at, I like he says this. He goes, so he gives him that speech, right? He goes, let me tell you something, mate. Your job is to live the fantasy everyone dreams about. Don't go half-ass at it, mate. Live the life. Dream big. And then you see that shit hits home. Like, because he does a point, because he says, you have the one in a lifetime chance that every person on earth wants. Like, live it. That's our job. He said, your job, your job is to live that. You're not just living for yourself. You're living like, but then again, I do get that now it's like, are you even being yourself?
Yeah, and so it's
doing
like,
that.
Also, by living the fantasy, what if your fantasy was to marry Jennifer Aniston and like have kids and stuff like that,
and still be a rock star?
So now you have to like have this fake fantasy that everyone else wants just to appease your audience.
Mm-hmm.
And you hurt someone else in.
Also, bro, this isn't your audience.
It's their audience.
It makes sense for them because they were living that lifestyle when they came up.
That's true.
And that's how they got famous.
Yeah, that's true.
So for you, like, I get what you're 100% right, because what the dude's saying is from his perspective of like, hey, bro, this is how we made it.
Yeah.
This is what they want. Give it to them. Whereas for him, it's like, nigga, you're like a contract worker.
Yeah.
Like for Mark Wahlberg, if I'm him, I'm pretending to do all that stuff, but in my own life, I'm me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm probably not going at, like, you know what I'm saying? You're not seeing me, like, just on the magazines, you see me and shit.
Yeah.
And in the videos. But in real life, you wouldn't see me throwing pianos, like, because that's what they end up doing. So cut to the next scene is they're doing more shows, and he's going way crazy with the rock star shit. He's like, they're fucking trashing hotel rooms. They drive by the Comedy Store and, like, do, like, a crazy drag race. You see the Comedy Store in the background? That's dope. You know, they're trashing hotels, just like rock star shit. Like, more months go by, right? They get to Seattle. Aniston pulls up at the hotel. You see all these hoes coming up the elevator with Aniston, right? And some of them are talking about how they hope they get to fuck Izzy. And she's just listening to this in the elevator. So she gets out. She walks up. Pettigrew is at the front, like, of, like, where their, like, hallway, like, kind of gets to. And, like, he's picking girls that can come in. And he sees her, and he's like, oh, shit.
No.
Exactly, because he's the manager. He's like, oh, shit. And he tries to stall her. He's like, hey, how's it going? Oh, good to see you. You know, what have you been up to? I don't know if Chris is back there. Oh, you know, he might be busy. I think he's, let me go check and grab him. And she's like, oh, no, I'll go with you. And then he's like, you know, and he's like, and then right then you see him walking out, and he's, like, zipping up his pants, and he's fucked up. Like, he's wobbling and shit.
Marky Mark.
And he comes up to her, and she goes, he comes up to her, and he's like, oh, shit. And Pettigrew starts covering for him. Like, he didn't know you were going to come and all this shit, you know. And right then, he's like, hey, he looks at Ant, because he's so fucked up, even though Pettigrew's, he's not even paying attention to that.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, what are you doing here? I thought you were in Seattle. And she's like, we are in Seattle. He's like, where? No, he goes, when? And she goes, right now. Chris, you're in Seattle right now. And then he's like, oh. And he's looking at her, and he's still all wobbling. And she's like, you forgot. You forgot I was coming. And, like, now it's fucking her up.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, you weren't even excited that you were in Seattle and I was going to be
even though you were here. And he starts, of course, he does the immediate celebrity thing. He starts blaming it on Pettigrew. And Pettigrew, being a great manager, takes it. Mm-hmm. Oh, he was supposed to tell me, and he didn't. Why didn't you fucking tell me, man? You were supposed to tell me. You didn't tell me anything. He's like, I know. It slipped on. It's my fault. It's my fault. I'm sorry. And then Aniston's like, stop it. Don't have him take your fall for you. Mm-hmm. Just be honest. Don't lie to me, Chris. Don't lie to me. And he's like, okay, it slipped my mind, but I mean, you know how it is, honey. You know it's just around this lifestyle, and it's so crazy, and you know, right? And then right then another girl comes up. She's like, hey, are you guys going to be talking? Because I want to fuck him. And then she looks at him, and she's like, you know what? Yeah, go ahead. You can have him. And she goes to walk off, right? Mm-hmm. And then he's like, wait, where are you going? She's like, I'm leaving, Chris. Bye. And then he's like, no, I'll go with you. And she stops, and she turns around, and she goes, go with me where, Chris? And he's like, Seattle. I'll come with you to Seattle. Because he's all fucked up. Yeah. And she just goes, oh, Chrissy. And she leaves. And she's bawling, crying. And he's just standing there. Like, fucked up, but, like, it's hitting him what just happened.
Yeah.
You know? Cut 2. Fade out 6 months later. So 6 more months go by.
Yeah.
All right? You see him pulling up to that mansion from the beginning. Remember when they pulled up together? And
for the audition.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He's pulling up to that mansion right now. in a fancy car. All the people are coming up to him asking him for autographs. He doesn't get. The first time he was all like,
stoked.
Now it's just like signing them and just drives in.
Mm-hmm.
No fucks given at all about it. And he walks into the studios with the guys, and he has his eyebrow pierced now. Like his eyebrow's pierced now. And the bandmates look at him like, what the fuck is this, mate? What have you done? And he's like, oh yeah, I got my eyebrows pierced. You guys like it? And they go, mate, you do anything like that again, you clear it with us first. You understand? And he's like,
oh,
okay. Right? Because they've had a little break since the last tour. So this is
Yeah.
them. They're meeting up together now to do the next album for the next tour.
okay.
So that's what this session
They haven't
is.
seen him in a minute.
They haven't seen him in probably like a month, like since the last tour. So they're all like, you can tell they're all talking, because the way they're all talking, they're talking like they haven't seen
Like
each
a
other either.
catch-up.
Yeah. And so he goes, oh well, look guys, I wrote some songs over the break. And they go, you did what? He's like, yeah, I wrote some songs and I drew this artwork, and it's like, he's like some cool artwork, and he's like, I know they're just rough drafts, but I thought you guys maybe go over them and maybe we can try some of these. And they look at each other, like all the bandmates, and they're like kind of look like this.
Yeah.
And then the one guy who hired him looks at him. He goes, well, we're glad you had, your little fun writing your little songs over the break, but the tunes for the new album have already been written. He's like, yo, first off, they're not little songs. I worked really hard on these songs. And what do you mean they've already been written? He goes, well, this is Steel Dragon.
Yeah.
Me and Eddie do the writing.
Uh-huh.
Everyone knows that. He's like, yeah, I know. I just, I figured you guys got me singing now. Shouldn't I have just a little input? I mean, I have to sing all the tunes, I'm not just some singer for hire, right, guys? And they're all looking at him like, nigga, what? That's on him, though. That's on him for even thinking that shit, right?
Also, why would you not think that they picked the spitting image of the guy that was there before? They didn't pick you because you were like a talent. Like you can sing the songs, you sound like the old guy.
And you're good looking.
And you look like the old guy.
Hot. That's all we needed. Dude, also that's on him because we're Steel Dragon. Why would we make songs that don't sound like Steel Dragon? The fuck is wrong with you?
Wait, so are the two guys who write it, are they brothers?
No.
Okay.
But they're just like the two. It was like the guitarist and the drummer.
They're like the original.
Yeah, they're the two.
OGs.
OGs in the because it's all everyone in the band has been there since the beginning, other than the lead singer.
Other than him, okay.
All right, so that's why it also is like, hey, bro, if we've done this for 8 albums,
Yeah.
and we're one of the biggest bands of all time, let's not fuck with the formula, maybe, huh?
Maybe.
It's just us. I don't know. Maybe we're crazy. I did agree with him on that scene.
Yeah.
And so he's looking at him, and he says that, and he goes, Izzy, let me explain something. And he pulls him over. He goes, our loyal fans, our diehard, Steel Dragon, forever fans, our lifeblood, they expect certain things. And we don't deviate from those certain things, because the next thing, if we deviate from certain things, then we lose one fan. One fan turns to 2, 2 fans turns to 4, 4 fans turn to 8. And next thing you know, we're playing for a goddamn empty hole because we wanted to change some things.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
I get that it's like maybe not the most artistry thing, but if you're the guy who comes from Steel Dragon, you're like, you are doing your art. It's not like, because to you, we're not doing, we're like, oh, you guys are just doing the same thing over and over again. But to us, it's like, hey, this is what
our thing.
Yeah, we're doing our thing. This is a lane. We occupy it pretty well. Did you not enjoy the Forum Arena tours?
Yeah.
Like, was that not fun?
Also, were you not a fan until you got into this band?
Were you not the biggest diehard fan of what we do? So why the fuck, if anybody, would you want it to sound different?
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of wrong in this situation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's stupid. He's been stupid
So
the whole
naive.
movie.
Yeah, he's so naive. So he says that to him, right? And he goes, if you want to stay with Steel Dragon, then you have to do the Steel Dragon thing. And that thing is me and Eddie write the songs, you sing the songs. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
He's all mad. He's like, yeah. So he goes in the studio and they hand him the new song, and he's sitting there like this, and it's like, dun, 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 and the song's playing, and they're waiting for him to start singing, and he sings it like really bad on purpose. Right? And they cut, and they go, what the hell was that, mate? He's like, do it again. And he's like, fine. And he does it the second time, and he kills it. And they're like, yeah, that's what we wanted, right? Because he's also pissed. He's so mad.
Mm-hmm.
Cut to that night. He's at a bar, and he's getting a drink with Peter Pettigrew. Best character in the movie, bro. It's my favorite scene in the movie right here. And he's at the bar, and he's so mad at himself, and he's drinking, and Pettigrew's just listening to him. And he's like, man, I'm so, for what he did to Jennifer Aniston and what he did to his old bandmates, how he owes them the biggest apology of all time. Like, he understands now how much of an asshole he was to them.
Yeah.
You know, what he did. And Pettigrew goes, well, that's life, mate. We all owe somebody an apology. And he's like, well, who do you owe one to? He's like, well, long time ago, I was married, you know. And then Izzy's like, what? You were married? He's like, yeah, mate, I was married. No way. Yep. Before you boys and your rock and roll corrupted me, I was married. You know, I think about it sometimes, mate. She was a very sweet girl, she was. And then Mark's like, well, what happened if you don't mind me asking? He's like, no. Well, one day we were at the park having lunch, and I needed to piss. So I went to the toilet. I'm standing there, and I'm staring at the wall, and all of a sudden something came over me, a fear. My whole life had already been planned out for me. Finish university, get a job, kids, become a granddad, worry about things that who gives a fuck about the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked out, and I just kept going. Never came back. And Mark's like, damn. And he's like, it's harsh, mate. Very, very harsh. Very harsh. But, you know, she came to a show a few years ago. And Mark's like, yeah? He's like, yep. Hadn't changed a bit. Still looked just as good as when I left her. You know, she actually ended up marrying my best friend from back then, a doctor. They have 3 beautiful kids now. She was a really good girl, mate. And he drinks, fades to black, as Mark Wahlberg's like it's just running through. How deep? That was some good shit, though. I thought that was some good shit.
That is some, like, you're realizing everything you think your life is planned out for you, and then so you need to get away from it, and then realizing, like, oh, maybe when I oversimplified.
What it was.
What it meant to have my life planned out. And, like, I definitely underestimated what it was I already had.
Mm-hmm. Because he came from a place where he wasn't mad about his life now. Clearly he wasn't.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I like this life. But I think it's coming from a place of like, oh, I know now that there was no better or worse.
It's just one or the other.
It was just one or the other.
Yeah. Dang.
Pettigrew's one of the best characters in the movie because he seems like a dick, but he's not.
Also, it must be so, like, to have an experience like that, and the woman that you were with is now with almost a different version of you. Maybe not you, it's your friend. And they have, like, a normal quote-unquote job.
Yeah, because you were going to do that. You were going to finish
You were going to be normal
and have a great job.
And have that. And it's like, so you can see what your life could have been, and you're like, well, that doesn't look so bad.
Yep.
Maybe. That feeling of, like, oh, not that I didn't make the wrong choice necessarily.
I mean, you're the manager of Steel Dragon.
Exactly.
I mean, you made it.
But it's like, oh, I wouldn't have been unhappy if I'd stayed where I was, maybe.
Maybe I'd be the exact same happy I am now.
Maybe I'd be exactly the same. Yeah.
Because I'm not that happy now.
Jeez.
I thought that was one of the better, deeper lines in the whole motherfucking movie, bro, of, like, perspective. Also, he can act. The dude who plays
Peter Pettigrew.
I mean, he is Peter Pettigrew.
Peter Pettigrew.
Peter Pettigrew.
He can be a rat. He can be a manager.
Could be a band manager. What do you need him for? He got you. So, the next day, they're at the next concert. Izzy's killing it. And he looks burnt out as shit, though. Like, his eyes aren't into it. Like, he's doing all the songs, but it's not the same as that first concert that we were seeing where he's just lit up like a light bulb, you know? And he does that speech for that one song that he did. I'm just a regular guy. Because you've seen him do it a couple times. But now when he does it, there's no heart in it. It's just like when you see a nigga do a joke over and over. It's like, oh, they just repeat now. Mm-hmm. They're just repeating their set. They're not like, there's no lifeblood in this joke anymore.
Yeah.
Your heart's not in it. You know, so he gives the speech. And as he's giving it, he starts singing. He looks up in the crowd. And just like when he was at the concert, there's this guy in the front row who's hitting the notes super hard for stand up and shout. Yeah. Stand up and shout. And he looks over and the guy's like, ow! Like holding those notes longer than he keeps noticing, right? And then finally, he calls over like one of his stage hands and gives him a microphone. And they pull him on stage, and the guy's like freaking out, and he's dressed exactly like Izzy. He looks like Izzy, the whole thing, right? And they're singing together, stand up and shout. And they're rocking together, and he's letting him kind of take the lead.
Yeah.
So as the guy goes out to do a guitar solo, because his voice is crazy. His voice is super crazy, right? Uh-huh. So Izzy pulls him aside as the song's still going. He goes, what's your name? And the guy's like, Mike, oh my God, I love you so much, man. I study you. You mean everything to me. I know all your moves. I worship you. And then he's like, you want to rip the roof off this place? And the guy's like, what? Are you serious? He's like, yeah, bro. Get out there. It's all yours. Go kill him. You know all the songs, right? He's like, are you serious? Yeah, I do. Go kill him, bro. They're yours. Ah! And he turns out and he goes and he runs back out, right? In slow motion. So Mark is just smiling. He's just smiling as he watches. And he turns around and Pettigrew's looking at him. And Pettigrew is like, because he starts walking. He's like, taking off for the night, are you, mate? And Mark goes, nah, I'm taking a piss. And Pettigrew goes, just smiles, and they smile back, and then he walks off, and he watches them, and he just goes, and off he goes. And then he turns around, and he's like, because you can tell it's just like that rock star of just like, another one bites, is what it is. Like, I love, he's the best character, because it's just his philosophy throughout the movie. It's just that, like, it is, this is the life.
Yeah.
Because even when he first starts talking to Jennifer about, like, hey, it's all just for, like, trying to explain to her, like, yo, this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was the best because even when the homeboy, you're right, homeboy was kind of telling him to be a fake person when he was giving him like a heart-to-heart.
Yeah.
Whereas Pettigrew's heart-to-hearts were like, dude, it just is what it is. This is the life that this is. And like, there's nothing that you can do to change this.
Mm-hmm.
This is what it is. What?
Nothing.
Oh, I thought you were about to say something.
I was going to ask her, like, so there's no dog on a skateboard.
Sam, there's never been a dog on a skateboard in anything other than, I think you're thinking of a squirrel on a waterboard.
Okay. All right.
Because we've all seen that.
I was expecting it to
Look at that squirrel water ski. That's from Anchorman. So, he leaves, right? Off he goes. It's all over the news. Like the next day that the lead singer is obviously like left in the middle of a concert, right? And you see the band talking in the interview and they're hating him. They talking shit about him. They're acting like he wasn't even a big part of it. You know what I mean? Just like what they have to do. They're downplaying him so they can keep going.
Yeah.
And then you cut back to him from the beginning of the movie. Remember that VH1 behind the scenes?
Exactly.
And it's him now talking about. They're all talking about that experience. All right. And he was like, "Oh, I just realized it wasn't for me anymore, and I had to find myself, and I had to find my own music." You know. Cut to we see him at like a packed little bar in Seattle, and he's singing his own songs. His hair is cut short. He's got on different clothes, and
what year is it supposed to be?
It's just like in the future. So it's probably like only 1-2 years in the future after he got
So
started.
it's still like the 80s kind of?
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe or like if it was, because at one point it said it was 86, so now it might be 89, 90.
Okay.
Like, if that.
Yeah.
Probably 88, because I don't think he was in the band that long, but
I guess also if it's Seattle and he's doing grungy kind of music, it's like
late
late 80s,
grungy
early
music.
90s.
He's not doing grungy music. He's doing more just softer independent music.
Okay.
You know? And he's singing, and he gets back together with the original dude from the band, the guy he got into a fight with.
The one that was happy for him.
Yeah. They end up getting back together because he tells him he wants to write his own music, and the guy's like, I'd love to write, like, hell yeah, let's do that. Because you could also tell the other guy was like, dude, I never didn't like your shit.
Yeah.
I didn't like Steel Dragon that as much as you did.
Yeah.
Because who does? Also, you recognize niggas too. Like the nigga who was the guy who got him in the band in Steel Dragon, he's in 300. Remember the bad guy who rapes the wife in 300?
Oh, yeah, it's
him.
horrible. Oh, the chiseled.
Yeah, him. So he's in it. And then the dude who plays his friend, you recognize him from a bunch of shit too.
Okay.
Like lots of TV shows. Right when you see him, you recognize that nigga immediately. So they get back together. Aniston's walking down the street and she sees like there's flyers for Chris Cole, who used to be in Steel Dragon. Like he has a show, you know. Yeah. She's like, and she goes to see him, and he comes up to her, and she's like, "I missed you." And he's like, "I missed you too." Aww. They kiss. She's crying. Rock star. Credits roll. Wow. You got vibrations. You know whose song that is, right?
That's their song.
That's Marky Mark's song. Yeah. And then like you see him like and like it's all these bloopers, and at the end it's him going, "All right, man," because you could tell he had just like either that Good Vibration song had just come out, so he was just getting off that. It's like, "All right, man, enough of this rock star shit." Like it's like really Mark Wahlberg. Enough of this fucking rock star bullshit, bro. West Coast shit. West Coast shit. You hear me? All right, it's all about the hip hop and the grave. You hear me? And that's the last thing as the bloopers end.
Whoa.
And that's Rockstar.
Well, that movie was nothing like I imagined.
No, yo, that movie is a slept-on movie. My dad made me watch that movie when I was like a teenager. He's like, "You ever seen this Mark Wahlberg movie?" And I was like, "No." And we watched it. And I was like, "Damn, that movie is fucking awesome." And I've seen it like 30 times since. It's always on VH1 because it's clearly always on VH1.
Yeah.
It's for VH. It's literally a VH1 behind the scenes, but in movie form.
Wow.
But it's a fucking legit ass movie, dog.
Is
it's
that his
really
first
good.
big movie?
No, I don't believe so. I think he was in like Basketball Diaries with Leo, which was a little bit before that, and he was in the original Planet of the Apes, which I think came out before this as well. Not the original Planet
first,
of the Apes, but the other,
of
the Tim Burton Planet. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Also, I think his first big movie ever was Boogie Nights.
Okay.
Have you seen Boogie Nights?
I've never seen Boogie Nights.
That's on the list as well, guys. I mean, that's probably what a lot of people consider one of his best movies. Is Boogie Nights. I mean, it's amazing. Though at least in his early career. In his early career. His later career, I mean, you start throwing shit like The Departed and The Fighter and shit like that. It's those are his best works.
Yeah. Wow. So they get back together in the end.
They get back together.
Very cute. I was so mad.
You were.
I do like that. That's a nice, happy ending to the movie, too.
It is.
Because I saw it ending. When you were
Sad.
telling me that, I was like, oh, this guy's going to end up alone and, like, addicted to drugs.
Addicted to heroin. I know. Yeah,
just a mess. He's lucky that he doesn't. Like,
no, he got out. He could have not got out. He could have let them keep. He could have kept being a fake person and being what they wanted him to be. And then you look up like 10 years from now and you're loaded rich and you're loaded famous and all these things. But you're like, oh, I don't even know. Who am I?
Yeah. Wow. That's a really nice story.
It's a good movie, bro.
Yeah, nice little learning lesson happening in there, too.
Well, to all our listeners out there who want to be rock stars, now you know the way it goes. You know the way the cookie crumbles, motherfucker.
Yeah. Be yourself.
Be yourself.
Be yourself is all that you... That's a rock song.
What song is that?
I'm pretty sure it's Audio Slave. Be yourself, it's all that you can do. You know, ding, 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 ding. Someone falls to pieces. No.
I'm done with this woman.
Okay. All right. That's it. Thanks, Beaners.